Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and today we're smoking on, in the bong, some Green Crush Sativa by Canica. It is 23.5%, I think. 23.5% THC. That's in the bong, and in our joints with our crusty glass tips, with our trusty glass tips. And today we're also going to eat a little bit of Shred'ems Wild Berry Blaze gummies. These guys right here. So these ones are 10 milligrams of THC and 40 milligrams of CBD. I wanted to try a gummy with CBD, so I figured I'd try this one. Now, I've had these a couple times this week and last week because this is my third package of them. They're pretty good. They're not super strong. They don't really put you out or anything. They put you in a good spot. So the first time I had them, I ate 2. There's 4 in here. So each gummy is 2.5 milligrams of THC and 10 milligrams of CBD. So if you're watching this, I'm going to show you what they look like. They're little round red gummies, and they're tasty, very, very tasty. But yeah, so the first time I tried them, I had 2 just to see what would happen, and I didn't find them that strong. So I ate 2 more later on, and I tried them out, and they weren't bad. But yeah, they weren't overly strong. They didn't put me down and out or anything like that. So last night, I decided to try 4 all at once. It was a good one, having 4 at once. So this is what they look like. Little round sugar gummy things. They're friggin' delicious. Super sticky. And sweet, obviously. So I'm going to eat 2 now. I might eat 2 more throughout the episode. But yeah, I had 4 of these last night within an hour. So I had 2, waited about a half an hour, and then I had 2 more. And then my daughters and I started watching some scary movies, and I realized halfway through it, they kicked in. So it was good. It was a good time. But yeah, it wasn't as strong as I thought. But again, that's also because in Canada, they're only allowed to sell, you can't sell anything that has a higher quantity in gummy or flower form than 10%, I believe. Or sorry, in gummy form, that's higher than 10%. In the concentrates, you can get up to like 80%. And then I think the highest I've seen in dried flower was like 28%, and I don't even know if that was probably just the range from this point to this point. So anyway, so that's I figured I tried these out. I wanted to see what they were like, and they're pretty good. They're tasty. They do a pretty good job. The CBD seems to give me a good night's sleep. That's what I like it for. I like CBD for sort of like leveling me out and making me feel like it's not less anxious. What's the word that I'm looking for, really? It makes you sort of feel even. Like things don't bother you, you're relaxed in any situation, you're relaxed wherever you are, that kind of thing. So I find that before bed, for me, CBD is like taking a little bit of melatonin. Just easy to fall asleep and be comfortable. So yeah, so I really like that stuff. So I recommend trying it if you want to try it. But it is 4 gummies. Each gummy is 2.5 milligrams of THC and 10 milligrams of CBD. So taking all of them together, you get 10 milligrams of THC and 40 milligrams of CBD. They're a good mix, and they're tasty, like I said. So, yeah, that's what we're smoking, eating, and doing this podcast, baby. So I hope you enjoyed your Friday. I hope you had a good week. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. Thanks for joining me, Justin Barone, and starting your weekend off right. Thanks for joining me, whatever day it is for you. But we have big news this week on the podcast, baby. I'm sparking this joint to get it going. So, first, I want to say I apologize for not putting out a podcast last week. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on if you follow the podcast or not. At a certain point in the middle of the summer, our entire laneway for our condo complex, essentially a water main broke, and then we were living with a big hole. Well, their answer to fix it was to just keep backfilling the hole until it became stable again. Well, I guess it became stable enough because last week on Thursday and Friday, they came in, tore it all up, asphalted it and everything. But that also meant that I got a brand new driveway. So unfortunately, because I record this in the garage, I couldn't do it because there was too much construction. It was too loud and there was too much stuff going on. I got trapped in here for like a good 2 hours. That was fucking fun. I got high as fucking balls. But yeah, I got trapped in here because the guy came to cut some of the stone away from the side so that they could like smash up the asphalt that was already on the driveway and then pull it all up. Well, he asked me to close the garage because I was sitting out here having a schmear and a hello to the day. And so he's like, can you close the garage? I don't want to dust you out. It's going to be too much. So I said, fine. Well, I got trapped because he didn't tell anybody else that he was working with that I was still in here. So they came in and all I could hear was them smashing up the driveway and then pulling it away. So I had to wait till all the machinery and everything was done. And I couldn't even record because all you could hear was a bunch of workers talking about their girlfriends, how much they gamble and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I couldn't have that on the podcast, obviously, because that's not my shit. So I had to wait. So I apologize for not having an episode last week, or session last week. I hope you took some time to maybe go through the back catalog and see what was up with some of the old ones. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed your weekend. So what I did, or your last weekend. So what I did, instead of setting up this whole podcast thing, because I couldn't for the week, I have big news. I leveled up. I stepped my fucking game up. What did I step my game up with? Let me tell you. After this nice big puff. We now have a website. I gotta stop saying we. I was talking to my buddy this week. Okay, here we go. Thoughts Off the Stem now has a website. Tots420.com, baby. That's right. You can find all our stuff in one spot. Because I'm stepping my game up. We're taking it to a whole nother level. Oh, I love that guy. I love that. Those skits are the best. The whole nother level skit. Oh, I love those. Anyway, point being, we have a podcast now. Or we have a podcast. We have a website now. Man, the weed is hitting. That hit was too big before I told you the thing. So tots.com. Tots420.com. If you want to get all our stuff in one spot, that's the podcast, all the different audio platforms that it's on, the video, check it out on YouTube and a couple other video links in there. What else? You can find the Tots 420 shop there because I've been told that I don't promote that well enough. And instead of putting it at the end of the episode, I'm putting it right here, right now. So if you want a Tots 420 t-shirt, a Tots 420 hat, some of the Thoughts Off the Stem logo sweaters that I put together, you can check them all out on tots420.com and just hit the Tots 420 shop link in the menu. And boom, there's all our fucking merch, baby. So I got smart, and with the delay or the inability to put out a podcast last week, I decided I should set up a website and step my motherfucking game up, and that's what I did. So that's where we're at. Tots420.com. So check it out, visit it. And there's the other thing that I'm doing on the site as well is that I'm putting any of the weed news or like those facts that I put up. I was calling them what was I calling them? I don't know. They were the ones like the one with the whole Guinness Book of World Records and how that started, where that came from. That section is now called Dude, for real? Where I find a random fact to tell you. All those links with the actual articles that I got the facts from are going to be on the weed facts link in tots420.com. Look at this. It's turning into a fucking advertisement. All right, but I just wanted to let you guys know because I thought, hey, I got a link tree before. Fuck the link tree. Now we got to put a website together and actually have a spot for you guys to come and follow up easily on whatever I'm talking about. Now, keep in mind, most of the shit that I'm talking about is me just bullshitting, in my opinion. So, like, don't be looking for full-out facts from me. But the weed fact spot is the actual articles I get the topics from when I'm talking about those things. Which we've got some coming this episode, and we've got another fact that I thought would be pretty neat because I was having a discussion with a friend of mine, and she was saying, I wonder where Monocles came from. Why that happened. So I found out, and I'm going to tell you. But later on. So that's what I got up to over the last week. I don't know. I hope you guys were productive. I hope you guys, are working towards your dreams. Because that's what I'm trying to do here. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, which I don't normally talk about, like the things that I'm doing outside of, fun stuff, I guess. But on the side, to supplement some income, I work for Instacart doing the shopping and delivery thing, right? So what you do, and I'm going to tell you about my very first Instacart shopping experience because I think it's ridiculous. So I started working for Instacart to supplement my income because I could do it whenever I want, and it gave me time to do the podcast and all that fun stuff. It's a good little setup to make some extra money on the side. So I figured a while ago, I'll sign up for this and I'll see what the deal is. Now, you can do it two different ways. When you sign up, you can just be the delivery guy where you go and you pick up orders that have already been picked and then take it to whoever has ordered it, right? And it's all done through this app on your phone, Android or iOS. Android or iOS. Jeez. So I decided to do this. Took me a little bit to sort of, give it an attempt because you're shopping for somebody else. You're being told what to get, but it's still very nerve-wracking, okay? So I decided this one Monday morning, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to do my first shop. Now I figured the first shop I'm going to do is going to be $20 to $30 because they tell you what you make on each one. So I decided to pick, I think it was like a $30 shop or something like that. So you go, there's fucking 75 items on this motherfucker, okay? For the first thing I didn't realize that you could open the little like notification you get and then see what the person ordered so that you can like get a general idea of where to go. But anyway, I picked this one order that's like $33. And I figured, okay, what I'll do is, and it was at Walmart, and I figured Walmart was probably the better one because they probably get bigger orders, right? So anyway, I take this order. I forget that Walmart is not just a grocery store, okay? Walmart is also an everything store, a superstore. So you could get literally anything you want through this app. So you can shop a person's like whatever groceries they want to get and blah, 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 right? But at the same time, you can also go pick up fucking siding for their deck. You have to check because you don't know what you're going to go get. So I get there, I accept the order, I get in the store, I pull up the app, and you got to do it all on your phone. So whatever you're buying, you have to scan it into the app. It records it and takes it off the list, put it in the cart and go on to the next item, right? Well, they don't always have it, so sometimes you have to say it's not and refund the money. It's very, very simple. But the point is that you're not just going in to get a few fucking apples and oranges, okay? You could also be going into, I don't know, let's say like in my situation, eyeliner. I don't know if you know anything about eyeliner. I do not, okay? I didn't even realize that it could possibly be a thing in this list. I thought it was just always groceries. Nah. Okay? So I'm getting through the list. I go in and it's all groceries at first. So I go and then I made the one smart thing that I did was that I knew not to get the frozen items until fucking after all the other stuff. Okay? It's That's all I'm saying. You gotta think when you're doing shit. Okay? So I realized don't do that. But I start picking all the groceries, whatever, and I'm halfway down the fucking frozen food aisle, and I'm picking out some of like pancakes and stuff. Anyway, the next item on the list is fucking, it was called, oh shit, what was it called? Because it wasn't called eyeliner. It was called something like siding or trim. It was some kind of trim. So I'm in the fucking hardware section looking for like door trim or window trim, okay? Then I realize, it's not that. So I make my way back to, because I got to get toothpaste and stuff like that. So I figure I'll just go get the toothpaste. I'm close to there, and then I'll come back and figure this out. Well, as I'm there, I think, I'll ask the lady to see if this is where this is in the store, right? So she tells me, oh yeah, no, that's not like trim for stuff. That's like trim for your face. it's eyeliner, okay? Well, fuck, I don't know. So then I'm going through the wall of these tiny little pens. Like, when I say a tiny little pen, it's no bigger than the size of this joint, which is like the size of a king-size cigarette. Or not even now, like a regular size cigarette. It's a tiny little thing. It's black. There's a fucking billion of these goddamn things, okay? A billion. And so I'm looking through, I'm scanning them all, they're not working. I realize that there's a price associated with it, and I'm scanning all the expensive ones. So I go, okay, I'll go to the one that has like the closer price to this at like $5 or whatever it was. And I start scanning those. They don't show up. Okay? So I'm texting back and forth with the woman that had ordered, being like, I want to get this for you, but I don't know where to look. I don't know what I'm doing. I told her, I'm like, this is my first order. Also, I'm a dude. Okay? I don't know nothing about highlighter or eyeliner. All right? So she's trying to explain it over the phone. I'm trying to find the stuff she wants. I can't. Finally, I ditch it. I'm like, okay, I can't find it. I can't get it. So I refund it, whatever. But you have to be aware of what the fuck you're going into. Okay? You have to be aware that you are not just potentially going for groceries. You're going for other shit. All right? You know, like, there's a chance that you will be picking up, like, anusol for somebody. All right? So you gotta be good at keeping your lips fucking zipped. All right? I wasn't. I'm not saying I was. But I'm just saying, in, like, the whole scenario, you could pick that up for someone. So you got to be aware of that. So anyway, it took me a little bit of time to realize, like, shit, if I'm going to do this, I actually have to go and, like, accumulate myself to the store, to Walmart itself, and see how it's laid out so I could move faster and get the order done. That order took me, like, an hour and a half to 2 hours to pick, all right? It took me another, like, 45 minutes to pay. No, half an hour to pay, roughly. Nope. Yeah. Half hour, 45 minutes to pay. Why? Because I have a cart full of all these groceries. Everything that one would need for like the next week or two. Maybe week, right? It's like $200 worth of groceries. I go to self-checkout figuring it's going to be faster. I start scanning this shit through. All right? No problems. Figure out how to do it all. Great. Go to fucking pay. Boop. Put the little Instacart, Visa card thing in. I think that it just automatically works because I've heard nothing about a PIN. Stupid. Again, know what you're getting into is what I'm saying. Okay? So I know nothing about a PIN. I put the shit in the machine. Dude. Everything's totaled up, bagged up in the cart. I have ice. I have frozen shit. I can't just leave it there. I've already picked the fucking thing. I can't cancel the order. I've already picked the thing. I'm already probably late. I don't know. Okay? So I'm sitting there. I put in what I think is the PIN that's on the back of the card. Not the PIN. I put it in once. Doesn't work. So I look, check, put it in again. Doesn't work. Now I know I only have fucking 3 chances at this shit. Right? And then if I get locked out, I'm really fucked. And this whole situation was pointless. So I asked for the attendant to come and help me out on this. So he's looking at it, and I go, look, I don't know what the PIN is. I can't remember it. Apparently it was on the back of the card, but it's not. So I said, can you hold this? I'll be right back. I need to figure out what it is. I guess he wasn't paying attention to me at first, because he's like, yeah, I can't do that. You're clearly putting in the wrong PIN. Like, how do I know you're not stealing it? I said, I'm not. And I pull out all the little Instacart dealies, right? So then, and again, when I got the cards, I they didn't give me like a piece of paper with the PIN number on it. I just guessed thought it was on the back because there was a number on the back that was 4 digits or whatever. Anyway, so I'm like, dude, can you just hold this for me? Like, I've got ice in here, I got frozen stuff. Like, I gotta get this to this lady. It's been like 3 hours, almost 3 hours at this point. Okay, so he says, all right, I'll hold it for 20 minutes. I said, fine. I go to check my phone. It's dead. It died at the end of the order. You need your phone to put the fucking order through, okay, when it's completed. Luckily, I hadn't paid yet, so I had to go back to the fucking car, and I'm sitting in the car, boop, 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 trying to go through the shit and figure out what the thing is. It took me another 20 minutes to get this fucking thing. Finally get it, run back in, boop, 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 PIN works. Great, because it was the last chance I had. I get the food over to the lady and drop it off. Bloop, 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 boom, done, all good. Cruise on out. Yay! But dude, if you... Do you know how comical it must have been as a third party trying to watch me try to find fucking eyeliner. God damn it. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay? And I'm trying to find eyeliner. A tiny little pen you put on your eyes. Like, oh, man. So, anyway, it's turned out to not be such a bad hustle. But that first one, buddy, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I forgot to take a picture of the receipt. Luckily, they have a record, but still... Yeah, but it's a pretty good deal. It wasn't too bad. What is going on with this joint? It's plugged right the fuck up. You know, the other thing, that was just my little story for you for today. You know, another thing, I was talking to my aunt the other day. And I was telling her about the podcast because I've told my parents that I do the podcast, and it's actually like totally adjusted our whole, I mean, we've been pretty open with each other, but like it's adjusted our relationship a bit, like to a little bit more, I feel like they're a little bit more accepting of me totally as a person, right? So I was talking to my aunt the other day, and she was saying that she had tried some of these CBD THC gummies, right? And she was trying to figure out like how, well, she didn't realize she had taken what they told her to take, but she's not like me. She's not like people that use it every day. She uses it like never kind of thing, right? And so I guess she took these gummies and they were way too hard on her. Like they didn't do what she thought they were going to do. She was trying to find like that mellow. Okay, you know how when you smoke THC and CBD, you get this sort of like walking through water feeling? It felt like, she said she was trying to essentially get that, where if she was in an interaction that she found uncomfortable, she would be more likely capable of taking it with a grain of salt versus getting like emotionally attached to whatever was going on, right? So she was explaining to me that she got this with CBD and THC, but the person didn't explain to her that like, even though it's the lowest dosage, you need to try like half first and see how it goes, right? Because one thing that I've learned over doing this podcast is that women have a different reaction than men, like scientifically. So at first, apparently, women will get a little bit higher faster, but their tolerance builds up faster. So let's say if a guy were to take, half a gummy, it might not do something. It might not do that much to him. Whereas a girl takes a half a gummy for the first time, then she might react, it could potentially react harder on her. Or not harder, but like more prevalent on her than on him. So he could realistically take the full gummy and find the similar effect in that amount as to what she took if she took the half, right? So nobody explained this to my aunt, that she should try the half gummy first. So She took a whole gummy. She was like, Justin, this was not what I was expecting. And I said, yeah. I said, I can't believe we haven't talked about this before. You should call me and ask me what the deal is before you start doing these things, okay? So we had a big, long talk. And she was saying that, because I was also looking at the age groups that listen to the podcast and stuff and see how I could like better serve you guys in the content. And I was looking at it, and my highest is, I think, 45 and up. So that's awesome, dude. I mean, either you think I'm a real big goofball and silly, or I maybe know my shit. I don't know. But whatever your purpose is for watching this, I appreciate it. But she was saying that it's actually a good spot to be in doing this podcast, because there are a lot of people that she knows that get into doing weed that are her age, and she's in her, I think, 60s, roughly 70s. And she found that they don't have the education that sort of is needed now to be able to embark on weed. Because you don't have, like, when we were in high school, when I was in high school, we had friends that were like, oh no, don't do this, take this much, try a little puff first, do things like that. But they don't have that, because they have friends and stuff, but they're older, so it's not socially acceptable to talk about it really. So they don't have a frame of reference until they're in a position where they have to ask somebody, right? So that's when the conversation happens. But before that, they generally go into these places thinking about like, oh, I don't know what to do, but I want something because it's supposed to help, but it's more natural and I can eat it versus smoking it and blah, blah, blah. So she was like, it's good that you're kind of doing this, because it gives she said, it gives my generation the chance to find out this information before we walk into a dispensary. So here is what I have to say. If you are new to ingesting weed in any way, all I can talk about is in Canada and a generalized idea behind smoking or getting high, okay? So in Canada, you can't have more than 10% or 10 milligrams of THC in an edible, all right? A flower can reach up to, I think it's like 30-something%, but I've only seen 28%. In a concentrate, you can get up to anywhere from like 60 to 100%. Very, very in your face, okay? And edibles take longer to feel the effects. For me, when I eat these guys, these shred-em gummy things, it takes about 20 minutes for them to kick in. If you're doing a concentrate, which would be like a pill or, I guess an edible, pills are considered edibles. But either way, if you're going with the more concentrated THC, like dabs and things like that are, they are the ones that get up to the 88%. So stay away from that. So if you're new to this and you want to get gummies that have 4 in Canada, because this is how they sell them in Canada. In my package, there was 4 gummies at 2.5 milligrams of THC each and 10 milligrams of CBD. So if you're new to it, you get a package like that has that 4, and each of them are 2.5 milligrams and 10 milligrams of CBD if you want to try it. Then you take a half of one, okay? You wait 20 minutes. You see what happens after that 20 minutes. If you feel like nothing's happening, then have another half. Wait another 20 minutes. See what happens. That's how you start it. That's all I'm telling you. And if you ever do come across a higher percentage and you want a higher percentage, then do the same thing. But the higher percentage ones tend to come in lesser. So if it's 10 milligrams, not higher percentage. Yeah, so they'll do like 5 milligrams and 5 milligrams. That's the other style of packaging. Jesus Christ, that's what I'm trying to say. Yay, I did it, I made it. There's 2 types of packaging where you have essentially the 4 gummies in one, or candies, whatever, or 2. And if you get the one with 2, they're 5 milligrams each, okay? So you want to cut those ones, again, in half. And then you want to cut those halves into half. All right? All right. So that's what I'm saying. If you're starting out with trying to get into weed, that's what you do. Or that's the way you should take it. Baby steps, one step at a time. Because I will say this, for the amount that I've been smoking this year, I've noticed a definite shift in the quality of the weed. It is coming around. It is getting pretty good. What? Ganja gong time. You know what that means? Weed facts, since we're talking about some weed facts. All right, I got a couple weed facts for you this time. I have 2 spots. And again, you can check them out on tots420.com under the weed facts link on the menu, or button on the menu. All right, so weed fact number 1, which is from nowtoronto.com. It's their weed fact number 9. Did you know, and I don't know if this is true, so you better, you gotta look into this, right? I'm giving you the link to where the article is, and you can figure it out. But apparently, freezing pot seeds before planting them and packing your weed in dry ice boosts its potency. I don't know how. I'm assuming it's because it freezes the THC crystal. I don't know how it would work in a seed, but in weed, I get it because it could potentially preserve. Well, if you think about it this way, okay, you cryogenically freeze people. Well, potentially, in sci-fi, okay, so you can do that with weed, and that's essentially what dry ice would do with weed, I would assume. Anyway, I don't know if that's legit, but that's the weed fact number 1, all right? Weed fact number 2 is from Weed Maps. 2 and 3 are from Weed Maps, actually. So, number 2 is Denver, Colorado. Or no, Denver. Somewhere in Denver. They had a mile marker 420. Now they have mile marker 419.99. Because too many people stole the 420 sign that they said, fuck it, we're moving it back a point. Now they have mile marker 419.99. I know there's other states. I just thought that one was pretty funny because I did not know that. Also, we like to steal signs. That's the way potheads do shit. And, alright, weed fact number 3. This one was pretty cool. I think it was in the early 2000s. I want to say 2002 to 2006, somewhere in there. There was a contestant on The Price is Right. This is so pothead. This is such a pothead move, okay? There was a contestant on The Price is Right who, for all of their bids, bid $420. Then, one time, instead of bidding $420, they bid $1,420. If they had bid $420, the time that they bid $1,420, they would have won. Okay? Such a pothead move. Dude, this isn't working. I better change my number. Da-da-da-da. You lose. Fuck! Tell me that's not the fucking deal. Oh, dude, that's such a fucking pothead move. Totally a pothead move. Can you believe that shit? Oh. I'd be so mad at myself. Then I just go smoke weed and be like, wow, fuck it, that's what happens. But yeah, dude, that'd be so rough. How many times? Let me see. Okay, so I've bid 420 4 times and it's not working. So, 1420, man. Dude, if you had just gone with 420, you'd have won this shit. Fuck. Oh, man. Such a pothead move. I hope you're enjoying the sesh. I hope you like my stories. I hope you like my different talks. I don't know. Have you ever wondered where the monocle came from? Segway, baby. Because I did. I was talking to a friend of mine. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about. But somehow the monocle came up. And both of us decided that we wanted to know where the fucking monocle came from and why that became a thing. So I looked it up. That's right. And guess what? the monocle has been around for a long fucking time. But this is where the monocle came from, okay? It was first, well, let me see here. Okay, so one of the first people to ever wear it was this guy named Philip von Stauch. He was an antiquarian in the 1720s. Now, he wore the monocle because I think, if I understand antiquarian properly, he was an appraiser of antiques and older art. Or, no, not art, antiques and jewelry, maybe, I think it was. So, he wore the monocle because he needed to verify exactly what he was looking at and make sure that it was what people were telling him it was, right? So that makes sense, okay? Now, it didn't become popularized until the 1900s. But before it became popularized, okay, it was actually used because people, where is it here? People considered glasses an unacceptable fashion trend because it gave the connotation that you were old or you were a clergyman. Because apparently at the time, to wear glasses was meant, clergymen wore glasses because they were the ones that were reading the most. They were the most literate, I guess. So, yeah, there was this big, how weird is that, man? Now everybody wants to wear fucking glasses because they're like, look, I'm smart too, man. I'm not just no dum-dum. But yeah, so the monocle, that's where it sort of started to gain popularity, was because it was unacceptable to wear glasses. So people started wearing a monocle. And then it eventually made it into the military. And it became, or because of the similar reasons, really, it went into the military because there were soldiers that were not allowed, or it was unacceptable for them to wear glasses, so a monocle became okay to use and read the documents or whatever the fuck they do. Like, granted, I don't know how you're shooting a gun at like 500 yards with a fucking monocle, but whatever. And then, let's see here. There was something else that was pretty awesome about them. I don't know if those are awesome, but yeah, so around that time, right after the war, when it was still, glasses were coming into trend, so it was kind of like a throwback, and people started wearing them as a fashion statement. And they would get them, like, it was obviously high fashion, right? And which also became, it was the thing that rose to popularity, was that it was high fashion, but it was also the thing that brought down the monocle, essentially. Because they came into high fashion because it gave you this look of like, hoity-toityness, right? And then at the same time, it went out of fashion because it gives you this look of hoity-toityness. But essentially, when they were first started to get it, becoming mainstream, people started getting them like with all these different like high value metals and jewels, bone. They were getting like super rare bone and making a fucking bone rim out of it. They were getting them custom fitted to their eye socket, like their orbital bone. Like, dude, these people were serious about their fucking monocles. These are rich ass motherfuckers. You know what they were? They were the first rappers. Because I'm not saying they could rap, but I'm talking about in terms of like a shiny fashion sense and like having like can you imagine if like the monocle came back and rappers started to fucking, you know, modernize the monocle? Think about how much jewelry would be around that shit, man. It would be so shiny. It would be like wearing a fucking searchlight on your eyeball. But you can see with it without it fucking up your vision. Dude, I could totally see that. They have them on chains, like have their big ass fucking chain, and then next thing you know, they got a fucking blinged out monocle. Examining their other chains. Yeah, I could totally see that fucking happening. I absolutely could. Oh, dude. For sure. All right. Well, those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. You can get all those facts. Dude, check this out fact. the Monocle. You can find that on the website on the Do Check This Out link. You can check out the weed facts that I have posted and the articles that they came from on the weed facts link on tots420.com in the menu. Haha! That's awesome. If you enjoy the show, and I hope you did, I hope you come back next week with me, Justin Barone, and Thoughts Off the Stem at 4:20 p.m. on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Amazon Music, Good Pods, Podchaser, everywhere you get a podcast, YouTube. Check it out. And again, check out tots420.com and check out the tots420 shop at tots420.com. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby.